The politics of reading. To teach reading is a political act. The teacher's vocation stands between arrogance and humility, proud as priesthood, fragile as faith. The classroom of the text is a besieged sanctuary. A society that abandons difficult reading abandons freedom itself. The house of reading must be rebuilt. Few will enter, but all will depend upon it. Reading well is nourishment. The text is not complete until it is read. Our eyes are its final punctuation. To read is to collaborate in creation, to lend the author our breath. We are responsible for the destiny of every book we understand. To read by heart is to keep civilization alive by memory alone. The temple foundation is silence. The temple's foundation is silence. One must read as if one were praying. The act of reading is the last private act performed in public. The house of reading is not built of stone, but of time. Each sentence is a beam, each silence a wall. The reader inhabits the interval between words. To cross the threshold of text is to step into consecrated risk. The house of reading shelters what cannot be spoken. Silence is the prerequisite of all understanding. The text speaks only to those who have stopped speaking. Reading is the solitude that resists disappearance. Solitude is not isolation, but concentration, made luminous. The reader's stillness is civilization's last refuge. To read is a vocation, not a pastime. The true reader is a monk and insurgent at once. The act of reading is both sacrifice and theft, a ritual that takes and offers back. The eye must learn devotion before it learns critique. The reader's body is bent into prayer. The spine becomes syntax. Reading is the slowest of human arts. To read deeply is to resist the acceleration of death. Attention is eros without object. The page demands the same fidelity that love once required. The age of distraction, attention is a form of rebellion. We must begin again with grammar, the archaeology of sense. Parsing is an ethical act, syntax is a moral order. To teach reading is to teach reverence for limits. The line of verse is a measure of breathing. To scan it is also to remember the body. The classroom is a cell of concentration, a place of necessary slowness. Difficulty is not a barrier, but an initiation. The sacred hides itself behind difficulty to preserve dignity. The easy text is a counterfeit God. Reading the difficult is a form of penance. Intellect at prayer. The arduous sentence redeems attention from frivolity. The house of reading is inherently undemocratic. Equality ends at the door of attention. Every reader is a chosen minority of one. The republic of letters survives only as a monastery amid the marketplace. Freedom requires hierarchy of mind. Democracy alone cannot sustain depth. Teaching is the handing down of flame, not information. The teacher's task is custodial, not creative, to guard the conditions of creation. The word pedagogy once meant leading the child toward the shrine. True instruction moves from imitation to initiation. Every act of teaching is an act of translation, from silence into speech. To read by heart is to promise fidelity beyond understanding. The book chooses its reader as much as the reader his book. A well-read text is a mutual adoption. Between writer and reader there exists an invisible marriage of responsibility. Every reading is a vow renewed. If reading ends, the human will have become posthuman in more than name. The last reader will not be a scholar but a witness. The house of reading will endure only as long as someone reads aloud to the dead. The house of reading will endure only as long as someone reads aloud to the dead. To teach reading is to prepare for resurrection. The text will rise again where love of the word still burns. Architecture is frozen music, memory is not storage, it is resurrection. The Mnemosyne is not remembrance, but the mother of creation. The temple of memory precedes the temple of reason. Mnemosyne is older than Logos. Remembrance is the womb of meaning. All knowledge begins as recollection, the recovery of light once lost. To remember is to re-enter the origin through symbol. Forgetting is the first heresy, remembrance the first redemption.